Hi, this is Bill Barnett for Thai Road Trip from C9 Hotel Works and Delivering Asia. We're here with Stuart Redding, who's head of property for the Banyan Tree Group. Stuart, arguably you guys have sold more property than anybody in Phuket at a resort-grade real estate level, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we probably in the west coast of Phuket, which is obviously where the majority of the property that's been sold, we've probably accounted for probably 40% of total sales of completed supply in the west coast itself.
So we're sitting here, how do we look back at the pandemic? What's changed for real estate or for tourism over the past 18 months?
Well, obviously tourism is one of the key drivers in Phuket, not only for the hotels but also for the real estate sector. So when you're looking at, I guess, pre-COVID, we had an average of, say, 10 million arrivals through Phuket every year. Now, obviously, since COVID, that's diminished to almost zero. I mean, the first half of 2021, it was less than 1,000. Now we've seen the introduction of the Phuket Sandbox, which is the reopening of Phuket, coming into this high season in the Q4. It's looking quite positive. The Russian market is going to return. We're seeing certainly an uptake in bookings for hotel stays, extended stays where the snowbirds come, and also in the sales. And interestingly, the Russian market accounted for the majority of those sales.
It's interesting with Russia, because what motivates a Russian real estate buyer here in Phuket?
Well, I think number one, there's a big Russian community, so there's a familiarity in Phuket. I mean, you just look at some of the schools.
Let's go to Villa Market.
And go to Villa Market, look at some of the schools there, the student population. I think at British International School in Phuket, somewhere around 15 to 20% Russian now.
What else drives it?
Well, I think also there's a flight of capital from Russia, as well as the weakening of the Thai baht. Actually, the ruble is now much stronger against the Thai baht. In the last 12 months, it's appreciated probably by about 15%. Now, we remember a couple of years ago, there was a massive drop in the ruble versus the baht. It basically halved. And I think also now, there's, you're seeing headline inflation around the world, 5 to 10%. I mean, in reality, it's higher than that in many cases. We've seen property prices go up, elsewhere in the world. Australia, where I'm from originally, they've gone up 20% in the last year. Now, Phuket, the prices haven't gone up at that same rate. So I think that's also, it's a motivation for people to buy, to get into the market before prices go up.
How much pent-up demand do you think? We always talk about people who couldn't get here for the past 18, 19 months. Is there pent-up demand? People want to come and close property deals now?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we've got off-site sales representation in a couple of key markets. I mean, China obviously one, because it was one of the key inbound markets for Phuket, and Russia's the other one. I mean, those two markets alone, pre-COVID accounted probably for 50 to 60% of the total business in Phuket, whether it's on the hotel side or the real estate side. So I think there's certainly pent-up demand from the Russian market now that they're going to have the flights coming in, direct flights from this month. China is still going to remain, I think, quite subdued because of the outbound travel restrictions in China, but we're still selling to the Chinese, and we're actually finding we're able to close because of our off-site sales networks where we've got people on the ground, and relationships a big thing and trust's a big thing.
Maybe let's talk about one key emerging market, India. I know previously we've been talking about India as an emerging tourism market, but we're starting to see Indian buyers for real estate here in Phuket.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the areas we identified where there's a great opportunity, because India, there's a lot of similarities with China. You've got a huge population base, you've got a big emerging middle class, you've got the proximity, Thailand and Phuket, and also the fact that Thailand is one of the most popular destinations for the Indians. I mean, Indian weddings and so forth, but also now what we see is also just pre-COVID, there was direct flights coming to Phuket, about 3 direct flights. And so and we've got some representation already in India and Mumbai and Delhi. So we're seeing strong inquiries.
And what kind of units are they buying?
I think the Indian market it's two distinct segments. There's the entry-level segment, which people are more price sensitive and they're looking for affordability and without a big ticket price. And then there's the luxury segment where you've got the Indians that are very wealthy, and they're looking for a second home, a safe haven. I mean, we saw in India earlier. So I think those are the two distinct markets, and we're seeing those sort of trends also emerge, I guess, more recently, where you've got that entry-level segment where people are more price sensitive, and
so
the
here and
luxury,
down there, right?
correct, and the luxury segment where there's not that sensitivity, but they really just want something where they can escape and have a safe haven second home, or in many cases even relocate here, because we've also seen during the COVID pandemic, the evolution of, I guess, working from home, with the likes of Zoom and
Work from anywhere, right?
Work from anywhere. So I think that's also a big factor which, people have really sort of reassessed their lifestyle and preferences. And where you've got the ability to work remotely, why not live in a nice location where you've got a nice quality of life, and you can enjoy a reasonably affordable cost of living and an affordable entry into real estate compared to many other places in the world.
Maybe one final question before we go. What about what's in the future for Laguna Phuket? There's still a land bank. What's on the development horizon?
Yeah, we've actually got quite a significant land bank. We've got over 1,000 rai to develop. If you're looking at sort of our sales pace, that would take probably another 20 years at least to sort of absorb that land bank. So we're currently in planning to launch a number of new projects within the next sort of 6 months. And as at different segments as well. So we've got some luxury stuff, nearby the beach, and we've got a very, very large site also, a little bit adjacent to Laguna Village, in fact, where we're master planning a major sort of integrated community. So, similar. We've seen the Forestas in Bangkok, where it's a large site. So we're looking at a number of exciting projects that we're looking to bring to market in the next 6 months.
Okay, so we're looking forward to what's going to be coming from Laguna Phuket. A few big launches in 2022. Stuart Redding, thank you so much. This is Bill Barnett again for C9 Hotel Works and Delivering Asia Communications Thai Road Trip. Until next time, see you then.